Hi guys, a little something different today. I'm going to make a block off plate for my 68 Torino that I put an engine out of an 88 Mercury into. So I'm dealing with fuel injection here. I'm removing the EGR, so I've got to block off all this vacuum area here, and as you can see on the car right there, so we've got to block this off. Sorry, this thing's got a mind of its own here. So this is the only opening that we're going to that we want. So to block all that off, I've got a piece of aluminum here that I'm going to cut a piece out of. Now I had one in there I had to make on the fly one day that was just had to get it in there to see if the vehicle would run. So this was a quick deal. I'm going to make very thin material. I'm afraid that I'm going to have the gasket sucking in on me, so I'm going to use a thicker piece, and I'm going to fabricate this with a nice clean hole, and everything should be a lot better. So let's go along for the ride here and build one. We've got our piece cut out of there. It's a lot thicker. This is 3/16. So I'll draw a pattern pretty much as this one is, and I'm going to cut this out on the milling machine, so I'll have a nice round hole. So stand by. Okay, we've got this set up in the mill now, and I've got a hole saw that's really close. So I'm going to take out the first cut with that, and then we'll finish it up with a boring bar. 2 3/16 is our target. Should be our last cut, I think. Yep, there we go. I failed to have my volume or my audio on again. I seem to do that a lot. I was just afraid that the little pecks that were over here was going to cause a leak. So this little thing works pretty good if you can get it to fit in the vise, and you're just skimming something like this. It sure does a good job. Looks like we're going to finish up here with 9 thousandths removed, and that's going to clean it up. Right after I get this done, then I'll take it over to the bandsaw and we'll finish cutting it out, and probably make a couple new gaskets, and then we'll be able to put it back on. I think it'll be a good fix. Some people like to see the equipment work. It's not like a big shaper, it's a 7-inch. But it does some work around here from time to time. Thing's setting on wheels, so it kind of moves around. Doesn't affect how it cuts. It just got to chase it around the room once in a while. All right, that looks like she cleaned it up. Well, there we have it. This is what we had. Pretty beat up. I think this was originally a motorcycle skid plate, and you can pretty well tell that it had skid quite a bit. But that's our new one, quite a bit better and thicker. I don't think we'll have any problem sealing the gasket with that. So let's get it put on. I just thought I'd show you the fitment. Looks like it's pretty good, maybe a little bit low here, but not bad. This isn't a hot rod anyway, it's just a driver. So it looks like it's gonna, all the holes line up and everything, so that's the main thing. Now let's get her on. Let me get a new gasket made here. The one I think will be okay, but this one had quite a bit of crush on it, so I think I'll be better off building a new one. Just to make sure we get a good seal. These hollow punch things are real good for cutting out your holes. Makes pretty quick work of it. As far as the center hole, if you're making it for the first time, I just hammer it out on the item. In this case, I've got a gasket already, so I'll just cut it out with a scalpel. Okay, we've got everything made here now, and I've got this elbow on here, and a friend of mine came up with the idea when we were putting the car in, or putting the engine in the car, because of the brake booster, and this elbow comes off of an Explorer. So if anybody's thinking about doing a swap like this, that's a good alternative. And as far as blocking the EGR off, that's all I did is I made a big thick block off plate for that too. And this is the bracket I made for the throttle. This is pretty tight, so it's all got to go in, kind of put together here. But there's plenty of room, as you can see, for the brake booster. You're not going to get any vibration or anything between it. There's plenty of room there. So if anybody's thinking about a project like this, it's I wished I'd been filming things when I was putting this together. Still got a few things to do to it, but it's almost done. It's been a challenge. Let me get these bolted up and I'll get back with you. There we go. All back together. The air cleaner I've got to work on a little bit. I'm going to try to get the air cleaner to come through down in here. So I'm going to have to move the horn and probably the regulator on the back side. My idea is to bring it out here and with an elbow and then put a K&N right there. I've got it set up right now where the element is inside. So that's the next project here, is to try to get this out in the cold air. So thanks for going along on the ride.